Let's take a look at the chart action for Bitcoin. All right, so we're looking at Bitcoin from scratch right here. And here's what I'm watching. We're on the 4-hour time frame. We have resistance, resistance, support, support. Right now, I'm watching this little pattern, maybe something like this. We have a top and we have a bottom like this. It kind of looks like a possible pennant or flag pattern. If we could get a break to the upside, then we could possibly target the top to the bottom of the pole or the top to the bottom of the flag in general, drag this to the breakout, and we'd be looking at a target of approximately 53,107, which kind of lines up with this previous resistance right here that I'd be targeting as well. If we jump over to the daily time frame, let's take a look at it on this time frame. This is what I'm watching here. Let's go ahead and delete that. That's one target, or that's one pattern that we're kind of possibly looking at. We also have resistance, resistance, and it looks like we got a little bit more resistance right there. So let's go ahead and draw this trend line, something like this. I think if we break this trend line right here, sitting at around 45,579 approximately, I think if we could break that level, we have to break this wick too, but once we break here, then maybe we can start getting more confident on this level up here. We could do a red horizontal line, maybe something like this. I'm actually kind of looking at the wicks now. We wicked all the way up to up here. So that's kind of, I'm kind of looking at that because if we go here, let me do this as a red line. I was also kind of watching this inverted head and shoulders pattern. Possibly we could drag from the top. It'd be pretty similar to that flag pattern. We'd be dragging from the top to the bottom pretty much here. This is what I was using, and then we drag this to the breakout, something like this. If we broke out right here, and I was looking at something like that. Let's go ahead and go back to that 4-hour time frame, and let's bring back this flag pattern. Let's delete this one. We have this top right here. I just want to see where this lines up compared to the other one. Then we have this bottom like this, and then let's say we break this going to the upside. We'll drag from the top to the bottom of the pole. Maybe we could be a little more conservative about it. So it's kind of the same target is what I'm trying to say, but I'm kind of thinking, I'm wondering where the breakout, if the breakout might change that. Let's see. So if we do something like this, yeah, see there, I mean, the target's very similar. If we could even, I don't know. Target's very similar. I'm looking at this previous resistance over here in general. If we could start breaking first, I mean, one of the signals that we could probably use on the 4-hour time frame, we have this little pattern right here. If we break this trend line going to the upside, that would be the first signal that I'm using. And then if we go back to that daily time frame, I'm looking at this resistance line, something like that as well. This will be another kind of line that I'd be watching to see if we break this, and if we could close above this and start pushing up, then I'll get more confident on this target up here, sitting around 52,000 approximately. Okay, so we just went over the bullish scenario that we're breaking to the upside. Let's go ahead and do a bearish scenario. Like, let's see, because right now on the daily time frame, let's go back to the daily. We had this little inverted head and shoulders. We came up, tested that trend line right there, and kind of getting a little bit of resistance. Maybe you could even argue we're getting rejected. I think until here's what I would look for, a signal that we are getting rejected on this level right here. Like I said, we have this little flag pattern, or this little, let's go ahead and delete this main trend line right here. We have this resistance and this resistance and this support and this support. I think if we break this going to the downside, this trend line right here, I think that'll be the signal that we got rejected from right here, and we might be trending down a little bit more, and then we can kind of look for previous supports. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's go ahead and jump into the daily time frame, and let's just go ahead and delete everything actually, because let's say we start getting pushed down again. We have support right here and support right here. Let's go ahead and do a trend line like this. So in general, I'd be kind of looking to maybe retest this trend line possibly, or I'd be looking at these support or these little trading zones. I was also watching this spot and this spot as well. I'd been watching it ever since we kind of got a little bit of resistance in this area. I was thinking maybe we could get a retracement down to these spots, and these spots are sitting at around, let me go ahead and bring them up. We have the wick that came down right here, and this level is sitting around 39,685. Let's go ahead and change this color to orange. And then we had another one that I was watching, maybe something like this at these bottoms right here, and this level is sitting at around 41,550 550. Let's see. I think we could drag this down a little bit lower. Maybe something like that. 41,553. Then the other spot that I'm looking at, if we, let's say we don't get a bounce right here and we start breaking this trend line going to the downside, then what I'll be looking at are these supports right here. And if we zoom out, we have this bottom down here. So we haven't broke this trend line going to the downside yet. But if we do, then I could start looking at these ones, and let's go ahead and set those up right now just to kind of show you what I'm looking at. We have one right here and one right here. The first one is sitting around 36,862, and then the next one is around 35,040. Then if we kind of zoom out a little bit more, we also have a wick right here. It's possible we even go down right there, but I'm not really, I don't know. I think if we break this one going down, I'm probably going to be looking at this one next, and this one is sitting around 29,782, 30,000 approximately. I mean, it goes down a little bit lower. You can also argue the wicks come down to around 29,364, somewhere around there. So yeah, we don't know what's happening yet. These are, if we start heading down, if we keep getting rejected, let's go back to the 4-hour time frame and like talk about this again. We have this resistance, we have this support like this. I think if we break this little channel pattern going to the downside, these are the first spots that I'm looking at. And then if we keep going down and break this trend line going down, these are the next spots that I'm looking at. If we break this bottom down here, this is the next spot that I'm looking at down here. But I think we are showing some pretty good patterns right now. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty decent. Like, we are getting some higher highs on this chart. Let's go ahead and delete all this stuff. We're getting high, low, high, low, high, low, high. And actually, opposed to Ethereum, these ones are actually getting higher. I guess you could argue the wick came up a little bit higher and we didn't come up to hit that. But the bodies on this are trending up, and we're getting higher lows too. Let me zoom in a little bit better, or let me adjust it. We have low, low, low. These are all going higher, which I think is a good sign. We have this trend line, something like this, and then maybe another one like this. This could be another trend line that we're watching, actually. Let's go back to that 4-hour time frame. Something like this, even, you could argue. I don't know. I kind of am looking more at this pattern like this, but it does look like this is also, I don't know. That's why I wanted to restart it, because I kind of liked the way this flag pattern was kind of looking. It looked like we had support, support, resistance, resistance, and in the meantime, I'm kind of watching more of this one, something like this. Let me know what you guys think, if you agree or disagree. If you guys like crypto, you guys should check out my Discord, or we could chat about it on there. If you're new to trading, check out this video right here. It's about buying and selling. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.